Hey, my name's Jake Romanack, and you're watching Fishing 411. On this week's episode, we're fishing out of Lewiston, New York. It's springtime, so you never know what we're gonna catch. Jarod Higginbotham from Niagara Bar Company flew all the way out from the West Coast to join us. Stick around, I think you're gonna like this week's show. It's time to let the cat out of the bag a little bit. We're gonna fish a little bit more West Coast style today. I got Jarod Higginbotham from Niagara Bar Company here, and we're gonna plug wrap. We're taking the 4.5s and the 5.0 mag lips, wrapping them with herring, putting some Pro-Cure on them, and we're gonna show you today how to catch these fish, putting a little bit more scent on your baits.
So we just got out our 10 color lead on this side. It's got a spoon on it, clipped on the offshore planer board. We're gonna send this thing out to the side for our outside line, see what we can come up with.
We've taken our mag lip and we actually wrapped them last night. We went and we wrapped all of the mag lip. I think I did about 7 or 8 of them just to have enough so when we got out here in the morning we could start fishing right away. So I took the piece of herring and I put it on the belly of the bait, wrapping it up. Now that's going to give a lot of scent to that bait, but we're going to add a little bit more. We're going to take a Pro-Cure and this fish herring oil and we're going to put that on the bait as well, putting it on the meat. When you put that in the water, it leaves a scent trail. You can see that scent trail in the water. About every 20 to 30 minutes, we're going to be pulling these baits, re-dousing them up, and that's what it's going to take to put these fish in the boat today. One of our board lines is actually a wire line. It's a steel wire, and it's something I've been playing with the last couple months. It's been a lot of fun to fish. You know, we've been fishing copper before, and copper bends easy, it unravels easy, but the steel wire runs about the same depth, and it doesn't kink, doesn't coil, and it comes off the reel super fast. Even when I'm trying to backlash it, it still comes undone and goes out really smooth. So it's been something that we've been fishing a lot lately because it's a lot more user-friendly.
We just changed up plugs. I put on a 3.5. I've had a lot of success with out here in the Great Lakes. We call it the NFL plug. Nickel flame, not National Football League, but still, without a doubt, this plug works. Just got it on this new steel line and set the board, kicked her into gear, bam, board drops back, fish on.
Let me get that board for you, Jarod.
Right on, buddy, appreciate that. That's that new SST board, or the big one, right?
Yeah, we need to have this style board. You have a 300 steel on there, so there's a football field's worth of line back behind the boat, and it's pulling really hard. So we put this bigger board on to be able to get it out to the side.
It's kind of a different theme for me. We're usually not 400 yards behind the boat when we're out west, so it takes a little while to pump and crank this steel line in. But like I say, I love learning new techniques, learning about fisheries. You learn something every time you hit the water. That's the key.
This kind of fishing is really cool because of structure fishing. You know, this is the Niagara Bar, and what happens is it starts off in like 40 feet of water, but in no time you can drop all the way out to 250 feet of water. So we're using a 2-motor trolling system, and we're going up and down this bank, and I love structure fishing. That's a big trout, Jarod.
It's a nice fish, buddy.
Man, let's get him up here. Got him in the net.
Scoop.
That's a great way to start it off, my friend.
That's awesome. Look at that
What
fat
a
trout.
good fish.
So all about putting a pattern together, just like Jake said. You know, we reeled in some gear, we changed some things up. We changed our size of magnet from a 5.0 to a 3.5, that profile down size, and it paid off, Jake.
Absolutely. That fish definitely didn't come unearned. It's working your gear. We're constantly taking our gear, putting something in the water. If it's not working, pulling it back out again. You just put this NFL plug in and it caught us a fish, it's going right back out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's put this one back. Let's get this back in the water and let's catch another one.
Let's do it, buddy.
Additional considerations provided by Procure, ruthlessly effective bait suds. Special considerations provided by Bait Rigs Tackle, America's innovator of fine fishing products, and by Eagle Claw Hooks, proudly made in America since 1925.
So what I'm about to show you here is something we do out on the west a lot. You know, fish are really scent orientated, you know. It's a very important feature for their life. So when we're fishing and you catch a fish on a plug, you want to clean those plugs. You know, you want to get any foreign scent that's off of them, whether it's, you know, fish slime or blood or any of those things. So that way when you put the plug back in the water, you're fishing a nice clean plug with no foreign scent. Well, what we found is that Lemon Scent Joy and Crest Original Toothpaste are two of these things that don't seem to bother any of the fish. So the Lemon Scent Joy has to be non-ultra, which means no bleach. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this plug and we're going to put it back out. That way we have a fresh new plug going out in the water with no foreign scent. So it's as simple as putting a little Lemon Scent Joy into a bucket, a little bit of water, taking the plug right here, the NFL, that's the one we just caught the fish on. I'm going to put it in this water, get a little soapy. I got a scrub brush. Scrub the hook, scrub the top, scrub where your fingers are, scrub where the fish's mouth was. Real good, you know, and do it a couple times. Get aggressive with it. You know, it's not gonna hurt. It doesn't take you long. These items are cheap. We picked these up at the dollar store yesterday for less than $5. For less than $5, you can make yourself fish more effectively every day you go out. Whether it's salmon, trout, you know, steelhead, any of those fish that smell in parts per billion, this is a key way to put more fish in your boat. So we just got a fish on this plug, and all the magnet come tuned right out of package. You know, a lot of plugs say tuned right out of package. Well, this one is tuned right out of package, but that doesn't mean that the plug doesn't come out of tune at some point in time. We put that lake trout on the bottom of the boat, and you know, it rolls a few times and it bounces on the plug. Well, this plug can come out of tune here. So it's important to check your plugs every time you put it back in the water to make sure that it's tuned. So this plug here, the magnet was running a little bit to the left. You know, it's running this way. So we're gonna grab on what we call the pull point. We're gonna grab it firm with a pair of needle nose pliers, and we're just gonna adjust it just a slight bit to the right to get that plug to straighten out. We'll put this back out and we'll see if it runs straight. Right back to where it's supposed to be. So now I feel comfortable putting out the leader, the 300 foot of steel wire, setting the planer board and spinning that 3 or 4 minutes to get my bait back out there fishing.
We're just making a turn to go back up, and I watched that inside board just rip back. I grabbed a hold of it, didn't feel like there was anything there, but man, it woke up in a hurry, and there's definitely something there now. We've got a big fish on here right now.
I'm starting to see a pattern with this steel line and these big SST boards.
The steel line really has been effective today, Jarod. And the key on that is just getting down to depth. And this is running about, you know, 60, 70 feet down, so these lake trout are right down close to bottom, so we're able to fish this line right close to bottom.
Yeah, you know, like you said, the key is the depth, but for me, you know, I don't fish a lot out here, and I've used the copper lines before, and this one I really like. You know, it seems much more user-friendly for guys like me that don't fish this every day and aren't used to it.
Absolutely, it's way more user-friendly. It's not kinking, it's not binding, it's not unraveling. It comes off the spool easy, and it's been very easy to fish. I'd be the first person to admit that I'm not a fan of fishing copper. For the most part, we fished it because we have to, not because we like to. But this has been a lot more user-friendly to fish with.
Jake just got bit on this plug. We bring it in, you know, and what does he do? He puts it right in the bucket of soap that I showed earlier. So, you know, that just goes to show you that the soap doesn't spook them. You know, the Lemon Scent Joy, it is just something that is very effective to get them to bite, to get your scent off of the bait.
Yeah, you know, I'm a northern Michigan guy. I've grown up in the Great Lakes my whole life, and I've trout and salmon fished my entire life. And And when I went out to the West Coast and got to experience that, I was pretty skeptical. You know, I saw a lot of people doing it, but I didn't think it was that big a deal. But now bringing it home and using it in my own bodies of water and fishing my home bodies of water, it's been really effective. And you can't argue with success like that. That plug got washed, and 5 minutes later, it's coming back with a fish to the boat.
Right. And you know, a lot of times when they fish those spoons or, you know, a plug or whatever they're bringing it in, they put it on the floor with the fish, they whack the fish or whatever they do, and there's blood all over it, and it goes right back out. They're like, man, I haven't caught a fish for over an hour. Well, there's a reason for that. It's not that they didn't want the color, it's not that the action was wrong, it's the scent, sight, scent, sound. It looked good, they could hear it rattling, but it didn't smell right, so they wouldn't bite it. And so you just, you know, cure one of those three fishes, you know, things that the fish can see is that scent.
And that was my aha moment. I'm pretty sure every trout and salmon fisherman has put a spoon or whatever they're using back out in the water, and it just didn't catch fish after it caught a couple fish. Right. And that was my moment saying, hey, maybe there is really something to this.
That is the aha moment, buddy. It really is.
Ever since we've been cleaning them, man, it's been very effective. You really can't complain about success like this. Boy, this fish is not happy that it's hooked.
We have color.
We got a dinosaur on.
We have color. Fish flash. Mag lip. Come on, you chunker.
Boy, that's a big trout, Jarod.
That's a big trout.
Yeah.
I'll reach for that one, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's a big trout.
You know what I say, Jay, when something's big and thick like this, right?
Thick like a pickle.
Thick like a pickle, buddy. This fish is definitely
Wow.
thick like a pickle. Look at that. Look at the depth on that thing. Good night.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Jarod. You're talking about a stud lake trout. Look at the size of that thing.
Look at the girth, dude. That thing is belly to back. I mean, I got a huge hand. Look at that.
That's crazy. You're talking about a fish as old as I am right here.
Yeah,
I mean, this is insane. And we want to get this big girl right back in the water again. But what a fight. And that just goes to show how important cleaning those plugs are.
Yeah.
When you catch lake trout like that, I don't care who you are, you're not going to argue the success of a fish like that.
You're not going to argue it, buddy. And like I said, it's an important key factor is clean that plug. So we'll check to make sure it's tuned. We'll clean it. It'll go back out, and we'll get another result just like that.
Well, we're going to get this big dinosaur back in the water and
Awesome.
go get another one.
I love it, buddy. I love it.
There she takes off.
Additional considerations provided by the Ultimate Sports Show Tour, Michigan's premier sports shows. Additional considerations provided by Motor Guide, engineered for anglers.
Behind me I have a fish hawk, and what that is a temperature probe that allows you to see not only the temperature below the surface, but also your speed down at the downrigger ball. There's a probe that's hooked right up to the downrigger cable, and behind it I have an actual transducer at the back of the boat. Those start talking to each other, and what they're going to give you is information that's very important. Knowing what that temperature is down at the depth, also knowing what your speed is down at the depth is extremely important. Having a fish hawk or a probe system on your boat is something that is a must for trout and salmon fishing.
So, you know, one thing I love about coming out here is the fact that I'm learning. You know what I mean? You can never stop learning as a fisherman. It's like, you know, Jake's talking about 10 color and 300 steel and 300 copper. Those are things you don't hear back home. So, you know, learn how to do this and seeing how this works and then combining it with some of our tactics out west. Like, you know, we have a spoon on here, but most of the time these guys just have a spoon, they run it naked with nothing else. Well, we've added a little bit of West Coast to this on what we call a fish flash. And the fish flash is a rotating inline flasher that has no drag. So you don't feel it. It's right in line. You don't feel it. There's no restriction. There's no drag. But what it does is as it rotates about 1 beat per second, it sends out horizontal beams of light, which looks like a small bait ball of fish, which is what the fish in the Great Lakes are actively feeding on. So we're mixing a little West Coast, a little East Coast, and getting a little rod bend, and everybody's happy.
There we go, Jarod, we got him. Nice fish.
There we go.
That's a big trout too.
That is a big
Then
trout.
that's another big fish. Oh, there's a fish on the rigger, and this is a big fish. You know, we're in 88 feet of water, and we actually had a tangle, which happens a lot when you have a lot of lines. It's all part of fishing. But this is a big fish, and I have a feeling, now I could be wrong, but I have a feeling that this is not a lake trout. We finally get hooked into a good silverfish here.
It's a team effort, brother. And you know what? We hook a silverfish and it's untangled. Dude, we're winning right now. We are winning.
This fish is just taking me wherever it wants to go. And that's the reason why we love fishing in the springtime and why we love coming to Lake Ontario, is because you really never know what you're gonna have on.
Rod Bendo, baby.
And this is on, you said you put this is payday. Is this one wrapped at all, or is this just got sent
Oh,
out?
that has a little Procure special sauce called bloody tuna.
Bloody tuna, huh?
Back home, salmon love to hate tuna. Haven't figured out why. Whether it's their competition for food, a tuna scent drives them insane. Oh, you can see it, Silver, baby. Look at that. Yeah. Shake it.
Oh man, is this thing taking me everywhere?
Come to Papa. Come here, big dog.
Oh,
baby, that's my Jarod.
yeah! Yeah!
Right there. Fishing in that. Yeah.
That's a giant spring king,
That's
man.
a big one, dude. Even back home, that's a beauty.
Well, there you have it, Jared. That's the reason why you travel to Lake Ontario, just for the multi-bag species, but to have a chance at a king like this one, too.
Oh, for sure, buddy. Well, you know, lake trout goes down, bam, we're talking about putting a pattern together, we're talking about this fish, boom, that rod goes off. King, lake trout, both maglip, payday, love it.
I mean, you were talking about a 20-pound plus spring king here, and it's May. This fish is going to be pushing 30 pounds in the fall.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, all the things he's going to do is just gorge themselves full of food. That's what they're designed to do, is just eat. They're programmed to do that. You know, just feed and get big. And that thing, man, they put up a brawl. That is awesome.
Well, I'm not ready to be done yet. We're going to put these right back in the water again, because I need another one of these. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I need to get
for
you
sure.
one.
Oh, we need to
I
get me
took
one.
the-
That was my rod.
I took the fish from you, so now we got to get another one.
That's all right, brother. That's all right. Team effort.
For most trolling applications, I'm only going 1 to 1.5 miles an hour, so when I'm going that slow, I can use my electric motor. My XI5 Motor Guide electric motor has an autopilot feature that keeps me going straight. But we're salmon fishing today, so you're going to have a situation where you need to go a little bit faster. When you start talking about that 2 to 2.5 miles an hour, you have to have more power. To do that, I do a 2-motor trolling situation. I go to the back of the boat and I grab my kicker motor and put it in the water, and I put that going about 2 miles an hour. I use my electric motor just as directional control. One really cool piece of technology is the gateway system. Now what the gateway system is it's when my electric motor, my XI5 Motor Guide, is talking to my Lowrance electronics. It makes for perfect boat control when you're on the water. One cool feature with the gateway is you can actually pick a spot and drive to it. So today we're fishing up and down a break. What I can do is I can literally touch where I want to go on my touchscreen unit, and my motor guide will drive me right there. Makes for a lot of fun because I can be at the back of the boat fighting fish and netting fish, and the boat can be driving itself.
Additional considerations provided by Lowrance Electronics. Find, navigate, dominate. Additional considerations provided by Fishhawk Electronics. Trolling without a fishhawk is called boating.
It's a nice fish, buddy.
Let's get him up here. Got him in the net.
Scoop. Come on, you come here.
Boy, that's a big
There you go.
Jared. Estimated this fish a lot
Dude,
bigger
we
than
way
I thought.
underestimated that fish.
Wow,
Here,
what
fishy,
a
fishy.
fish. Get him, Jared.
Woo, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is awesome.
Now we planned our trip about a week before the local Niagara Derby that they have around here, and it's a very cool derby. In fact, just to give you an idea of the size of the kings, you have to have a king over 20 pounds just to weigh it. So anywhere you're fishing for king salmon, when you're talking about spring kings, you're thinking a 20 pound is a big fish. Well, this local derby, you need big fish to weigh it because there's a lot of them here. And that's another king on a 3.5 maglip, which has really been our best size today. We started big, but you know, the fishing was a little bit tough. We weren't getting a lot of bites, so we downsized our presentation, went to that 3.5 size plug, and it's been catching most of our fish today.
He is done, Jake. Scoop and poop.
Got him.
Boom!
Another big king, dude. Big king.
That is crazy, dude. I'm loving life today. I am loving life today. So a lot of people think spoons in the Great Lakes for silverfish, you know, and we're out here and I fish plugs in the tone all the time. And, you know, the plugs we designed, the magnet series, is for silverfish. And, you know, these fish, you can't unprogram genetics. These came from the hatcheries in Washington State. And the magnet's proven itself once again, man. We're having a great time out here in Lake Ontario.
We just got a fish on the outside board too, so we have 3 fish on right now. 2 people fishing and 3 fish on. It makes for a lot of fun.
I'm going to be in great shape when I get back to Washington.
Awesome, dude.
Come to daddy, you big bugger, come here.
There you go. Right
Yeah!
there. You got him. What a fish.
That is an animal.
What a fish.
And he's headed out. You love that sound, like, "Grr."
That's my favorite sound in the world, the drag spoon. So you tell me, man, I came out to the West Coast with you last year. Does this one fight as hard as your guys' salmon or no?
I would have to say no on that one, but salmon are salmon, dude. They're fun to catch anywhere you're at.
Yeah, baby. You get them up here. That was almost catastrophic, but we got him in the net. So. Well, Jarod, there's nothing better than having a fistful of king salmon, huh?
Oh, no, buddy. Like I say, it feels like home. This is awesome.
It's been a lot of fun. We had a great mixed bag show. Got some lake trout, some cohos, and these kings. Whenever you can get a mixed bag, that's what makes Lake Ontario so much fun.
Oh, for sure, buddy. Putting out a bait and not knowing what you're catching, you know, you're just targeting fish. You know, that's awesome.
Absolutely. You've been watching Fishing 411. We'll see you here same time, same place next week. Let's go in, man.
Closed captioning is provided by Fishhawk Electronics. Fishing 411 is brought to you by Offshore Tackle, your leaders in trolling technology. Yakima Bait, home of the rooster tail. Evinrude Outboards, introducing the E-Tech G2. Starcraft Marine, America's oldest aluminum fishing boat line. Jay's Sporting Goods, trust in the tradition. Cisco Fishing Systems, fish the finest. Smooth moves, smooth your ride. Precision Trolling Data, the Troller's Bible, now available in an app.
There's pinks in the middle, there's pinks on the side, pinks on the top, and there's chromes in the middle, some chromes on the side, a few oranges, a couple black ones, a few golds.